three bears. Once upon a time, there lived a family of 3 bears in the forest. One morning, their porridge was too hot to eat, so they went for a walk instead. While they were out, a naughty little girl named Goldilocks came wandering through the woods. She entered their house. She saw a table with 3 bowls of porridge. There was 1 large bowl, 1 middle-sized bowl, and 1 small bowl. Goldilocks sat on the biggest chair and tried the porridge from the biggest bowl. But the cushion on the chair was very hard and the porridge too hot. Then she settled in the smaller chair. She tried some porridge from the smaller bowl, but the chair was too soft and the porridge too cold. Finally, she jumped into the tiny chair and tasted some porridge from the small bowl. It was delicious, but her weight broke the chair into pieces. Goldilocks went upstairs. There was 1 bedroom with 3 beds. She climbed into the big bed, but it was too hard. The middle bed was far too soft. Then Goldilocks climbed into the smallest bed. It was perfect. Soon Goldilocks fell asleep. The 3 bears came back home. When they looked at their bowls, they were shocked. Someone had eaten Baby Bear's porridge. They even realized that somebody had been sitting on their chairs. Baby Bear saw his broken chair and sobbed. They went upstairs to their bedroom. Baby Bear saw Goldilocks and screamed, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed!" He screamed so loudly that Goldilocks woke up. She ran into the forest. The 3 bears never saw her again. Midas and the Golden Touch. Once there lived a kind and wealthy king named Midas. He was so obsessed with wealth that he would dream of it every night. One day, Midas saw an elderly man in the garden. He invited the man to his palace. A young man wearing a leafy crown appeared. He was looking for the elderly man. The elderly man said to Midas, "This is Dionysus. He is a god." Dionysus said to Midas, "You've been very kind to my friend. In return, I will grant you a wish." Midas wished, Everything I touch must turn to gold. So be it, said Dionysus, snapping his fingers. Instantly, Midas's wooden stick turned into a gold one. Midas touched his palace, and the walls turned to dazzling gold. He felt like the richest man in the world. It was dinner time, and Midas was hungry. But when he touched his food, it turned to gold. Oh no! His daughter heard his cries. She ran towards Midas and hugged him. Even she turned into a golden statue. He cried for help from Dionysus. Dionysus appeared. He said, "Bathing in the river will wash away your gift." Midas stepped into the river, and his stick became wooden again. He went back to his palace. Everything was back to normal. Midas was very happy. He promised to never be greedy again. Rapunzel. Once upon a time, a young couple lived near an enchanted garden. But no one ever set foot in the garden because it was owned by a witch. One day, the wife, who was expecting a baby, began to crave spring leaves from the witch's garden. Her husband bravely picked leaves of a plant named Rapunzel. The witch caught him. The husband said, "It's for my pregnant wife." In return, the witch demanded to take the child. The couple was soon blessed with a little girl. The witch arrived at their door and took the baby away. She decided to name her Rapunzel. Years passed, and Rapunzel turned 13. The witch locked her in a tower with no door. The witch would climb the tower using Rapunzel's long hair. One day, a prince saw Rapunzel sitting at the window. He was instantly enchanted by her. Rapunzel let down her hair, and the prince climbed up. "You must go before the witch finds you," said Rapunzel. The prince promised to help her escape with a rope ladder. When the witch returned, she sensed that a man had been there. In anger, she chopped off Rapunzel's long golden hair and locked her in a cupboard. The prince arrived again and climbed up. But the witch was holding the long hair. She tried to push him away. The prince managed to dodge the witch. She lost her balance and fell on the ground with a thud. The prince found Rapunzel in the cupboard. They climbed down the rope ladder and fled. Soon, they got married and lived happily ever after. The Frog Prince. One day, a beautiful princess was playing catch with her golden ball near a pond. By mistake, she dropped the ball. It rolled down the bank and sank into the depths of the pond. "My golden ball is lost forever," said the princess. "I can find it for you," croaked a frog. The princess hated frogs. She couldn't bear to look at him. But she said anyway, "I'll give you pearls and diamonds if you do." "I don't want pearls and diamonds. I want to eat from your plate, drink from your cup, and sleep in your bed. Will you promise me that?" "I promise," she said. The frog dived deep into the pond. He returned with the golden ball. The princess became very happy. She snatched it from the frog and ran away. That evening, the princess and her family were having dinner. There was a gentle knock at the door. A croaky voice called out, "Remember your promise, dear princess." "Who is that?" the king asked the princess. "A frog who found my lost ball. I promised to share my plate with him." "Do as you promised," thundered the king. Unwillingly, the princess picked up the frog. The frog ate from her plate and drank from her cup. She took him to her room. The frog hopped onto her bed and slept. The princess was disgusted. The frog ate from her plate and slept in her bed for 3 days. On the 4th evening, she heard a knock on the door. Standing at the door was a handsome prince. "Who are you?" stammered the princess. "I am a prince. A wicked witch turned me into a frog. Princess, you have been very kind to me. You have freed me from the spell. Will you marry me?" The princess was enchanted with the handsome prince. She agreed immediately. They married and lived together happily ever after. The Giant Turnip. Once upon a time, there lived an old man with his wife. The old man planted some turnip seeds. He watered them and cared for them. The seeds grew into plants. There were lots of turnips. The old man took good care of them. Out of all those turnips, there was one huge turnip. He had never seen a giant turnip before. Finally, the turnip stopped growing. The old man decided to pull it out of the ground. He pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip wouldn't budge. The old man called his wife for help. The wife held the old man, and the old man held the turnip top. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled. They called their son for help. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip wouldn't budge. They called their dog for help. Together they pulled and pulled and pulled, but the giant turnip still wouldn't budge. At last, they all called the little mouse for help. He crawled his way under the turnip and started nipping the roots with his teeth. While the little mouse nipped the roots, they kept pulling, and suddenly, pop! Out of the ground came the giant turnip. Everyone was pleased. That evening, they all enjoyed a delicious turnip supper, even the little mouse.